Hi, I'm Nate Wheeler. I'm one of the owners of weCreate Website Design and Marketing. I'm also our Chief Marketing Officer. I've been doing SEO for about 10 years, and SEO is the process of getting websites ranked higher in search results for various search terms. The topic I wanted to cover with you today is the topic of lead generation through the web, and more specifically, lead generation through the process of content building and the process of selecting the right keywords that your target customer might be typing into Google to find your website for. So in order to explain that, I want to start on a page of Google search results. And we're just going to analyze this page and just kind of go through the basics of what is on a page of Google search results. So the first thing that we're looking at is what we're calling a search query. And a search query is simply the term that someone types into Google. And in this case, I typed in the search term aluminum die casting manufacturer. And die casting manufacturer is a service that one of my customers provides, and so we're actually going to see them represented on this page. The next thing we see on this page of Google search results are the ads, and these ads are pay-per-click ads, which means that when somebody clicks on one of these ads, it can cost 10, 20, 30, 40. It can go pretty high sometimes. And so these pay-per-click ads they're definitely a way that you can generate leads. But what I want to talk about today is more or less the free way of generating leads, and that's the organic search results. So the first search result here is actually one of my customers, and on a nationwide basis, you're probably going to see them right at the top of search results for that particular search term, along with many, many others. So as we scroll down this list here, you're going to see 10 organic listings, and that number is going to come up a little bit later. The other thing to mention about this page is as I've scrolled down this page of search results, everybody on this page received an impression. And an impression is a marketing term or an advertising term that basically refers to a view. And so I'm going to also show you in a little while why that matters. So that's kind of a basic understanding of what a page of search results looks like. The other thing I'll mention really quickly is that when I say a page of search results, I might refer to the first page of search results, so that's what we just scrolled down, or the second page or the third page or the fourth, and so on and so forth. It could go back very, very far. As we all know, not many people are going to click from the first page of search results after Googling a term to the second and the third and the fourth. And as you get further into search results, your number of impressions is going to go down. Okay, so that is kind of how a page of search results works. The next thing that I'm going to get into is basic terms that relate to SEO or search engine optimization. So we're in Google, which is a search engine. And so search engine optimization simply means the process of getting you ranked higher in search results for various search terms. And the reason why that matters, as we've seen, is when somebody that's a potential customer would Google a term like aluminum die casting manufacturer, they're clearly looking for a service that you provide or that PHB provides. So being present in those search results for that search term can lead customers to your website and then eventually have them fill out the lead form or call the phone number. And those searchers could then turn into customers. And we've seen this over and over and over again. I have many, many manufacturing customers that I've done this process for, and we know invariably that there are people out there looking for manufacturing services and that will procure those services from the people that show up in search results. I'm now going to cover basic SEO terms. So once again, SEO stands for search engine optimization. So SEO is divided into two different parts. The first part is called on-page SEO. So on-page SEO refers to the content and the keywords and how they're used on your website. So to demonstrate on-page SEO, I'm going to show you a page of content. I'm actually going to show you the page of content on my customer's website that ranks for this search term. As we look at this aluminum die casting page on PHB's website, I'm going to point out a couple very important places to put keywords that Google's going to look to really identify what this page of content is about. So the first place that they're going to look is what's called your SEO title. And your SEO title, or your search engine optimization title, is right up here at the top in the tab. And this is also the title that's going to show up in search results. And so this is an SEO title here. It's the same as this here. The second place they're going to look is what's called your H1 or your heading, and that's just really an identifier of the size of the text or the priority of the text on the page. So Google is going to say, hey, if this keyword set is in the H1 title, I'm going to assume that this page has something to do with that topic. The next thing that I'll do with a page of content is have a couple featured bullet points and then my calls to action. And those are really a great place to kind of capture the visitor. I don't really care too much if they read any further on this page, but what I do care about is that they hit that RFQ form. After that, we scroll down this page of content and we can see that we have a good amount of content built out here with various outbound links and various information relating to aluminum die casting. So this is really a well-developed page on a topic. And that's a really important term to kind of remember and understand, is having a well-developed page on a topic means that when somebody Googles that term, I want to provide them with all of the resources that I possibly can that will answer the questions or answer the query that they searched for in Google. And that's really what Google's goal is it's to match up queries with relevant pages of content. So as I scroll down this page, you can see a lot of other good content, keyword-rich content, different variations of the keyword, but just a really well-developed page that has outbound resources to other pages on the website and sometimes even other pages on other websites. And so this is a well-developed page on a topic. But as you can see throughout, I break it up really well. I have some good calls to action throughout the page and things like that. So that's really how a well-developed page works, is having your keyword focus, which is your aluminum die casting manufacturing or manufacturer, and then having a good amount of content with outbound resources. And that's really what we need to consider when we think about well-developed pages on topics. The next thing we're going to talk about briefly is what's called off-page SEO. And the reason I want to talk about off-page SEO is to more or less help you understand that having a great page of content on your website is not enough to help you rank for keywords, or not enough to get you to the top of search results for those keywords. And the reason is, if you think about it, there could be 1,000 companies in the U.S. that provide the services of aluminum die casting manufacturing. And so if you've got 1,000 companies and you've only got 10 listings on a page of search results, clearly not everybody can be on that page. So Google uses off-page SEO to measure the relative value of a website or the relative authority of a website over another. And so in order to really get you ranked for these keywords, we need to have off-page SEO. And off-page SEO is largely composed of what's called backlinks. And backlinks are simply links from other websites that point back to your website. And so an example of a backlink might be if you were a member of the National Association of Die Casting Manufacturers, and you had a listing on that website, and that website had a link that pointed back to your website. That would be an example of a backlink. So when we're doing SEO for a customer, we're not only building out great content that's focused on keywords we know we want them to rank for, but we also are building high power, relevant backlinks. And the subject of backlinks is a little bit out of the realm of this particular discussion, but I will make a follow-up video that kind of discusses the basics of backlink building and how that all works. So the next thing I want to cover is how do we actually choose keywords for new content? And to start that discussion, I want to show you kind of the baseline. And so when we go to the homepage of PHB's website here, you can see that we have this really instantaneous representation of their broad service offerings. And so we've got 5 different areas here. And so the first one, obviously, the one we want to focus the most on is the aluminum die casting, but then they have a lot of other follow-up services, including zinc die casting. So what's important to understand about building a website is we're not going to be able to cover 100% of the topics when we first build a website out, but we want to cover those kind of broad groupings and choose good keywords that would lead people to those broad groupings. So after that, we want to determine what's going to be a good follow-up piece of content. And the place that we usually will put some follow-up content is on our blog. And so if we go to the blog here, you're going to have articles that are more or less just pages of content. That's the way Google sees a blog. And some of these are more relative to just kind of what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. But we write a lot of articles that are focused on specific keyword set that we've researched and that we have determined that we need to write some content and get them ranked for because it's going to bring them business. So I'm going to show you very quickly how we will choose those keywords. This tool that I'm showing you now is called Google Search Console. And this is a free tool that I recommend everyone has installed on their website. Basically, you just go sign up for a Google Search Console account and they will give you a tracking code and you can place it on your website. But what this tool does is it shows us how your website is performing in organic search results. So this isn't measuring any of your traffic that's coming from ads or Facebook or anything like that. It's simply things that people Googled, where you show up for those keywords, how many times people have seen your listing in search results for those keywords, and so on and so forth. So as we look at this tool, first thing I want to point out is simply that over this couple month period that I've shown here, we've had this really nice increase in clicks and impressions. And clicks are really the most important thing because clicks are what's going to lead people to your website. And you can see here, starting over this little short period, about 24 clicks, and this last peak was 124 clicks. So that's a pretty cool increase. But even if we're just to kind of go by the average here, I mean, we're almost triple. So a really nice increase in the amount of clicks. And the really cool thing about it is when we started with this customer, they were getting almost no clicks. And so getting them to the point where they're getting this huge number of clicks on a daily basis, these are very relevant people, very relevant searchers that are looking for the services that PHP provides. And many of those fill out their RFQ form and reach out to them. So this is a really cool result. So what I wanted to show you here was how we're actually selecting the keywords for new pieces of content. And this is a really important skill set for not only your marketing team to have internally, but the company that you're working with to provide these services should have a really good understanding of how to select good keyword sets that are going to be relevant and that are going to be attainable, and then also have a good search volume. And so what I mean by that, number one, is relevance. So as we look down a list of keywords here, I'm going to add a couple columns really quick. So as we look down this list of keywords, number one, relevance. So aluminum die casting, very relevant to what they do. So that's a great keyword for them. I've seen this show up quite a bit in here, and this is not relevant to them. And I'm not sure what this PHP 6. Actually, I do think I looked it up one time, and it was some sort of a training manual for something or other. So this is an example of a non-relevant keyword. So clearly, I wouldn't want to write a blog article focused on this particular keyword. So as we look down this list, I'm actually going to expand it, and you can go out pretty far. I'm just going to expand it to 100. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to order these by position. So now that I've ordered them by position, you can see in this far right-hand column, you can see all of the keywords that they rank number 1 in search results for, number 2, number 3, etc., etc. And the reason why there's a point is that this is an average position over a period of time. So as I scroll down this list, you can see we're to 100 keywords and they're still at number 3 in search results. So die casting aluminum, number 3 in search results. So I'm going to go further. Now we're at 200 and they're only halfway down the first page of search results. Recall that there's 10 listings on a page of search results. So you can see that we're still at number 5 at 100. You can see that we're now at number 9 with 300. And so what I'm doing now is I'm getting onto the second page of search results because now we're over the number 10. So as I look down this list now, I'm going to look at my impressions column. Impressions are views. And so they're kind of a measure in this context of how many people are Googling a given search term. So as I compare the number of impressions in this impressions column, I can start to pick out keywords that I think are going to be a good choice in terms of volume or search volume. And so this one has 1,000, so that's a pretty good number. This one has 3,977. The keyword is die casting process. I'm not a huge fan of that keyword set simply because it doesn't seem to really be the type of keyword that somebody that's looking for this service would type in. So I'm going to ignore that one for now. And this is another example. This one has 1,700, and it's what is die casting. Once again, the people that are looking for the service probably already know what die casting is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back down here because I saw one that doesn't have quite as many as some of those other ones that we've seen, but that does have a lot of potential in terms of relevance. After sorting through this list for a little bit and finding a keyword that I think is very relevant to what they do and also has a relatively high number of impressions, which tells me once again that there's quite a few people looking for that keyword. The other thing that I notice about this particular keyword, aluminum casting factory, is that we've got a position of 12.6. So we're actually right off of that first page of search results. What I know is now that the competition for this keyword isn't so stiff that I can't get over that. And so I know that we have enough authority with our website probably to get them ranked for that keyword if we have the right content or the right page dedicated to that topic. So at this point, I'll talk to them and say, hey, I think we need to write a piece of content about this particular keyword. And we're going to use this keyword set in the SEO title, in the heading, and then write a good, well-developed page on that topic. And at that point, there's a very good chance I'll be able to push them onto that first page of search results for that search term and really dramatically increase the number of clicks and impressions that they're receiving. As a conclusion, SEO is one of the most powerful tools that you have in your handbag to generate leads for your business. And the fundamentals of SEO are on-page SEO and off-page SEO. On-page SEO, just to review, is composed of the keywords that are on your website and the keywords that are used as a keyword focus on the given pages of your website. And the most important places to have those keywords are in your SEO title, your headings, and then distributed throughout your content. The other side of SEO is off-page SEO, and off-page SEO is composed mostly of backlinks, and backlinks are what is the power behind your website or the power and engine behind your content. And without the off-page SEO, your great content is not going to rank. The other topic we covered is the topic of keyword choice. And so how do you choose the keywords that are correct for your page of content? And we base those keywords on relevance, volume, and competition. I hope you enjoyed the talk today, and I hope you learned something that you can take back to your business and your website and help you generate more leads. And I hope that you'll join me for the next part of this series. And if you'd like to learn more about this or talk to weCreate about providing these services for you, we'd love to have that conversation. You can visit us at weCreate.com and fill out the contact form there, and we will get right back to you.